Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on a special Monday episode, the boys are back with another episode of the Piledriver. I am the best in the world. Next to me is my boy V-Rad, who apparently likes cats and cheese. And down below me is
not
the head of
necessarily in that order.
Tony Forge.
Not in that order.
Boys, how are we doing?
Big chillin', tired.
Yep.
It's a long weekend of wrestling.
I'm exhausted. What a weekend, though. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better weekend if we're being 100% honest.
Straight up. Up.
So we can talk about it. And I mean, obviously, we have a lot to cover tonight. We're going to talk about the 3 events that Vince and I were at. Tony was at Sunday on RCW with us. And then obviously we're going to get into some NEOPro that is this coming weekend on Friday, the 25th, the Curse of Quaker Hall. So we've had some big announcements since. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. We'll get into, there was a match between Sid Von England and Mikey Montgomery, which now has an added stipulation. We will talk about that as well. But let's get right into Clash, Vince. Let's get into Clash. Okay. So Friday night, Vince and I and Amanda traveled to Clash Wrestling at Taylortown Trade Center, I believe. It was fun, man. It was in Taylor, Michigan. We rode up. We saw a couple old friends. We saw some new ones. Overall, I know Vince had some notes to go over the show. I don't remember, what order the card went in. There were some good matches. I know we started it off with Lycos Jim and PME in a tables match.
Yep.
And the first time getting to see Lycos Jim of the weekend. We actually saw them 3 times this weekend. We saw them in every promotion we went to. Lycos Jim was there. It was like we were following.
Maybe we were.
If you're unfamiliar, if you're watching with us tonight and you're unfamiliar with Lycos Gym, they are a tag team based out of the United Kingdom. Very, very good tag team, man. They were phenomenal all weekend long. Like every match I saw them in, they did great. So PME, we're very familiar with PME. We've all seen PME a billion times. They're really, really good, Philly and Marino. But I don't know, Vince, tell us, what did you think about Kid Lycos and Kid Lycos 2?
So they were very unique. They had this definitely a vibe. I liked their vibe. They were bad guys for sure. They definitely were the heels everywhere they went. What I liked was how much ring awareness, and also they were very like crowd savvy. They played to the crowd a lot. So like even in this though, like I thought I couldn't like. So sometimes wrestling borderlines on comedy, and Lycos Jim kind of uses that a little bit because the funniest thing I think
I already know what you're gonna say.
Oh, you already know, because remember we saw not 1, not 2, but 3 times they tried to call a brain buster on Marino, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. They tried 3 brain busters, and then they ended up just having a tag team together, and both Lycos Kid and Lycos Kid 2 suplexed Marino, but they still called it a brain buster, and that was what was hilarious. They're like, brain buster, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, the call out of the brain buster by them at every show and every time, it must be, again, not familiar with them really. This was the first time I had seen them. Apparently, they do wrestle for Progress Wrestling up in the United Kingdom. But it was like brain buster.
Yeah,
it was, the English accent was thick as fuck. Like it was good.
He was. They were both calling it out on the RCW show too. One of them hit it. I can't remember which one it was.
So you did actually see a brain buster by one of them.
Yeah. One of them
I believe
did
they hit
hit
one. I believe they hit one at PWR too. But the one that they hit at Clash that Vince was talking about, it was a tables match. It was Lycos 2, I believe. The Lycos 2 was the mask.
Yeah.
And he finally got the brain buster at the end to put Marino through the table.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't even think he called that one though.
Yeah. I think he
just
called
did
it
that
the
one.
first time, and then they tried to do it like multiple times, and they couldn't. And then all of a sudden, he just whipped him up, dropped him.
Yeah, no, it was good though, and I mean, like, hey, you know, coming
Michelle,
out that first time we saw them this weekend, they won.
Michelle said the Lycos kids were awesome. Yeah, they were awesome. On a separate non-wrestling note, shout out to Michelle for hooking your boy up with a donut yesterday at RCW.
Oh hell no!
It was
No,
so
I'm just
good.
kidding. I was late.
Yeah, no, they were awesome, dude. They were really, really good.
I do want to point out though, like I
Go ahead.
want to slide in real quick. So the cool thing about this Clash show, and this was my first Clash show. Was it your first Clash show, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was wild about this show was we showed up and every single match on the card had a stipulation. Like Mike said, that was a table
Oh, okay.
stipulation. So
Yes.
Kid Lycos actually had to put Marino through the table to get the win, and they were getting eliminated. Like Lycos, or the curly haired Lycos kid got eliminated first, and then Philly got eliminated after. They both got put through tables. But then at the very end, it was like a battle for who's gonna be the last one put through the table. And you know, unlucky, you know, our boy Marino took it. But I loved having all these stipulations because the next one was just wild, just absolutely wild.
This whole fucking show, if we're being 100% honest, was pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you watch footage back, or if Clash post footage, it might not look as well because the crowd was doo-doo butter.
Oh, right.
They were fucking horrible. Like how is it the two loudest guys in the freaking gym or in the freaking, you know, center or whatever are the two fucking dudes from Ohio?
You know, they kept like they wouldn't even really care about the wrestling. They were more worried about, oh, they're from Ohio, boo. And it's
like they were booing every 440. They were booing every 440 because every time they came out, you know, for anybody, almost everybody from 440, I believe, is from Cleveland. So you know, they're
somebody
like
straight up called
Cleveland, Ohio.
a pussy.
Yeah, somebody called Greg
Almost got
Irons
my
a pussy.
fist, dude.
Damn.
Like,
can't fuck with the 440.
At one point, I think it was probably like the third or fourth time that 440 had come out. Michelle said, "Yeah, Michigan fans are womp womp." Amanda said the crowd was terrible. But yeah, dude, I think it was like probably like the fourth. I don't know. It wasn't Ricky. It was before Ricky. I want to like they did it to Big Al, and then they did it to Vince Nothing during Homicide. I want to say it was during the match where Christian came out, the scramble.
Yeah. Well, no, that one dude was like had that sign just for Christian. Remember the guy that was in front of us?
Yeah, he called him a Timu Atticus.
I saw clips. I'm pretty sure the supervillain deathmatch dude was the dude that we were talking to the right of us, not the guys in front of us.
Yeah, because I saw his clips too, and they were literally the same clips that I got.
Where we were, yeah. So that was cool. Shout out supervillain deathmatch at Instagram. But yeah, so let's rock into this next match because, like I said, I loved this next match. So this was when we went to this match, there was a lot of disclaimers, and this, you know, one of the disclaimers was this was not for kids, and it definitely wasn't. I mean, because right away there was a lot of blood. This next match was Otis Kogar versus Alex Colon, and this match you had to staple your opponent. And I'm talking, you know,
like they each came out with a fucking
staple gun,
like a construction style staple gun, Tony.
Yes, and you had to get stapled 13 times before being able to be pinned. And I actually thought this was amazing because one of the things that we saw when we showed up to the show was there was a lot of these flyers for Bound for Glory, which is going to be in Michigan on the 26th and 27th. So what better way to have free advertising for TNA than Alex and fucking Otis, pardon my language, stapled these flyers to each other. I was like, you guys are just a PR nightmare, but also like, you know, pigs here, man. I loved it.
At one point, Otis, I believe it was Otis, it might have been Alex. One of them grabbed $1 from somebody in the crowd and stapled it to the other one.
Yep.
Like, love that. This match was epic. This match was wild. And it's crazy because, like, again, we say, you know, you had to staple your opponent 13 times. That isn't even the craziest thing that happened this weekend.
Nope.
Like that, or at that show. So Alex won that.
Alex
believe,
won,
right?
yep. Alex won.
Alex was able to get the staples in and pull out a victory.
Yep.
Again, not the first time we saw Alex bleed that weekend.
Yeah, you're right. Then we had that women's match. We had Alice Crawley versus Jessica Havoc. Again, every time we see both parties here, they just put out. This was another weird stipulation though. So
Doorway to heaven.
Doorway to heaven. So from my understanding, both doors had to be broken, and you got a point for whatever person went through it. So I think, let me see if my my notes are saying Havoc put Al through one of the doors, the first door with a DVD.
Yep.
And then she set a door bridge up, but then Big Al took advantage of her while she was setting that door bridge up and power bombed.
She climbed up top. Jessica climbed up top to give her the 10 punch, and Big Al slid underneath, grabbed that power bomb right through the table, and was able to pick up a victory.
Yep, because she was able to pin it. So it was 1-1, and at the very end, all that was left was the pin, and Big Al went home with the win. And I'm so hyped for Big Al because that's a big win. That's a huge win from somebody like Jessica
100%.
Havoc.
Right over Jessica Havoc. Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
Big Al's a shit, dude.
Big Al is a freaking gangster. They talked. I heard a couple other wrestlers talking about her. How like it's different because she's not your typical female wrestler who comes out in the revealing gear and the fucking very prissy moves. Like Big Al will come out and beat your ass the same way Vincent Nothing will. Like there's no difference between the two of them other than she's a female and he's a male. Like they'll both kick your ass, and I think that's what is different about Big Al.
For sure.
But Vincent looks like he'll murder somebody.
Yeah, no, seriously. We then saw this was like a title match. Judge Joe Dredd. Joe Dredd versus Turbo Lover.
Turbo Lover.
We saw Judge Joe Dredd beat the crap out of each other 3 times this weekend. 3 times. I didn't see the third time, but I got to see the first 2 times. And then when I saw him on yesterday, he was beat up. So
well, I think and we'll talk about that when we get to RCW's card. He did fight Turbo. Who did he fought? Turbo Lover again, correct?
Yeah, because that was the belt he had fought for. He fought for the Ruthless title. Yep.
No, at RCW, who did Judge Dredd fight? Who did he fight?
Who was it? Joe Dredd versus Turbo Lover for the championship.
So
at RCW.
Yep. So they did that. They fought for that title twice this weekend.
And he Turbo Lover saw that when Dredd came into the match, he had a Band-Aid on his head on Sunday. So Dredd took advantage of that. Dredd took advantage, or Turbo Lover took advantage of that. He reopened the wound. I mean, they did have some battles. I wasn't sure
if he got busted open or if there was a reopening because he started gushing like seemingly from nothing, and I'm like, there's no way he had to have had something already there.
We'll talk about that when we get to PWR. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This, I mean, I don't like Turbo Lover. I don't like his shtick. This is my first time seeing Judge Joe Dredd, though. Really good wrestler. Amazing wrestler, actually. And he has it's kind of funny, the whole shtick, Judge Joe Dredd. He also has a lawyer come out with him, and the lawyer gets in the mix, and I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
His name is Stephen Jury.
Oh, I like that.
So you have the judge and the jury.
Yeah, he's an executioner. But anyway.
Big Tim Cross in the chat. Over at RSW. We'll be talking about November 9th coming up shortly. Real quick, some breaking RSW news. If you didn't see, we posted all over. There is a new RSW heavyweight champion, and he resigns and lives in the state of Ohio. He is the Ultra Star Ashton Day, able to pick up the victory over Dustin down in West Virginia and bring that title back home to Cleveland. He has been added to the poster for November 9th. He's front and center real big like this with the belt on. So November 9th, I'm sure you will see the RSW champion in some aspect when RSW returns to Parma.
Hell yeah. But yeah,
What
so
came, go
the
ahead. What
match,
came after Dread?
it was that 6-way match. Yeah, Dread didn't win the title. It was kind of the only thing I saw crazy was actually
Oh,
it was a Turbo Lover spot where he suplexed him into the corner of the apron. That was wild.
yeah. Oh, yeah, where he
Yeah,
hit
I
his
know.
back.
Yep, yep, nope,
Yeah.
yep. Jonesy
He
and
like
yep, Jimmy.
exploded or yeah, I'm talking I'm Vince is reading the comment. I'm still talking about Turbo Lover throwing that explosion on the outside of the fucking ring. But yes, Tim says it right there. Congratulations also going out to Jimmy James, not Jimmy
Yeah.
Johns, Jimmy James and
Jimmy James.
RJ Jonesy, the Golden
Yes.
Boys, also residing from Ohio, holding RSW gold.
Shout out. We'll get to RJ here in a little bit too. That was
Right.
my dude.
Jonesy's had a
Um,
weekend.
but yeah, so that was that 6-way. Remember? I think this was a ladder match.
Yes, it was ladders are legal was the name was the stipulation in
What's
this
the
one, and
stipulation?
it was just a pinfall match, Tony. There was nothing hanging, like there was no
Right.
ladder to grab. It was just a
So
pinfall
it was
style
just
match, but ladders and everything else was legal.
So
Um,
it was Mark Wheeler, Zach Thompson, Crash Jackson,
Zach
Christian.
Thomas.
Yep. Did I say
You
what did I
said
say?
you said Thompson.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I have Thomas here too. I'm just brain rot. So Crash Jackson, Christian Napier. I'm not 100%, but I believe it was Shane Saber and Jake Christ.
Yes. So
Um,
I'm gonna go back and look at it, and I just the card. Go ahead, keep going.
well, this one was a weird one, Tony, and this is it's the more people involved in a match, the harder it is to actually report on. At least on my end when I'm trying to write notes. So there was a lot of spots.
right.
Since there were so many ladders being used, there was a lot of built like pieces. Actually, at one point, Jake Christ rides one up and over on
Shawn
top
Michaels,
of.
the Shawn Michaels spot,
Oh,
Tony.
right. Okay.
He was on the top rope and he jumped up and rode it down. It was cool as hell.
Right
Nice.
over Crash Jackson, and
You
then
don't see
we
that
saw
stuff.
people build ladders up and flip off them and drop off them. I think one of the funniest things though
Go
was
ahead.
at the
I want to see what
start.
you got.
Okay. I was gonna say the funniest thing I thought was at the start because everyone was like, "We're having a ladder match for nothing. Like, what's going on here?" So
Right.
Zach points
Why,
up.
why would
Yeah, like what are we using ladders for? So Zach
we...
points up and goes, "Oh, we got to unplug that light up there." And everyone like
That's
looks
excellent.
up,
I like that. That's
and I
funny.
was like, I hope they actually do that. Like I was hoping somebody would actually pull that spot out. But
I won.
do you want me to say
So
how it
as
ended?
not yet, real quick.
Okay,
We will. But
I'll let you go.
my favorite spot on this, Tony, was at one point they put the ladder bottom rungs on the ropes. So the top of the ladder was like laying down in the ring. It was on an angle like this.
Right. Okay.
Jay Chris slams Christian on it. And he's like, I'm gonna throw him over. Like he's gonna flip Chris, like he's gonna pick the
Okay.
ladder up and
Yeah.
flip Christian over the top rope. All right. So he starts picking up the ladder. Christian, realizing what's going on, stops, stands up on the ladder as Jake Chris is trying to throw him over, and swantons out of the ring onto
Oh,
the
So he like
wow.
leveled it out for him.
fucking yeah. As soon
He
as
was
Jake Chris
able to
got it,
like
as soon as he got it to the point where it was level,
backwards. And
I'll send you the video. No, it was like
It's
Jake Chris is
wild.
picking up the ladder and he like turns
It
and
gets
jumps.
right to
Christian
the
jumps
top of the ropes.
sideways.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like as soon as he gets level with the rope, Christian swantons off onto the group of people outside.
Man, that's nuts.
Top notch by Christian Napier. The kid,
Hell yeah.
I love Christian. He's fucking great.
Right.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite spot of the match, and then following second with the Jay Chris riding the ladder like a cowboy.
I love that. That was really fun. I will admit though, with all the great spots we saw, the ending kind of sucked. Shane Saber, the local guy, kind of won. And that's cool. I think it was like for like a spot at the title or something. I can't really
It's
remember
something to
that
do
much.
with Clash Wrestling. Again, we're not that familiar. It's our first show, Clash show, so I don't know if he's got a spot lined up because I know after the match he called out their champion, who is Juntai.
Yep.
So I assume maybe he gets a shot at Juntai coming up or in the near future. I'm not 100% sure. We just started really paying attention more to Clash Wrestling in the recent weeks after Converge is when I kind of started paying attention to him because I saw their champion at Converge and I thought he was really good. and he's no longer their champion. But I did see their champion now, Juntai, and he was in the Battle Royal. But I saw them, and I was like, oh, they're pretty solid. Where are they from? And then they said they were from Michigan, so they're not too far away. So we figure we could check them out, and then like if it comes down to it again. It was only like what 2 hours. It took us like 2 hours and 2 minutes or something like that was the
not
ETA.
even.
So it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad drive. So yeah, we could definitely go check out some more Clash shows. Maybe bring some excitement to their crowd.
There you go.
So speaking of excitement, I was excited for this next match, but I was severely let down.
Which
yeah.
one was this one? Oh, I know
No.
exactly.
Yeah, we saw Vincent Nothing versus Homicide, and
this was actually a match with no stipulations, by the way.
There was no stipulation. There was nothing going on. I was excited because I love old wrestling. I love early wrestling. I love guys with names that have carved their way through the ranks, and one of the best names to remember, especially in hardcore wrestling, is Homicide. TNA and Ring of Honor legend. I've seen him do a lot of stuff with GCW lately, and I've seen him lately. I've watched him on GCW, and to see him live and just put on such a very mid, performance. And at first, I hate to say this, I thought it was Vincent Nothing. I was like, maybe Vincent Nothing is too worried about being so big and tough and everything, and he doesn't want to hurt Homicide, who's a little older. But the more I saw Vincent over the weekend, I realized I hate to say it, I think Homicide's just getting to that age and getting to that point where he can't take those bumps, and it's sad because
he can't move the same way he used to.
And that sucks. We saw a couple good moves, but at the very end, Homicide ended up picking up the win. Just doing his typical. It's his finisher. From Ring of Honor days. I believe it was still his TNA days too.
Was it Vertebreaker or whatever? Gringo Killer.
Yep. Yeah. You knew it. So, I was actually also bummed because Mike, I had a DVD. And I was gonna get it signed. Mike pointed out that Homicide was behind us, but we were so watching the matches still. I didn't take the time to.
It was the main event. It was the main event. Was during when he walked out. When he walked out, and then by the time the main event was over, we turned around. And he was fucking gone.
He was gone. But hopefully next time I see him, maybe I don't know. You never know. Maybe he's just having a bad day. Everyone has
right. You never know.
But the next match was freaking crazy because it went from
Homicide picked up the win over Vincent Nothing, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, which was cool. At least that was cool. But this next match, the stipulation was kind of wild because this was what kind of pot? Terracotta pot match, and this was absolutely not what I expected. Atticus versus Eric Ryan.
Eric Ryan was doing the one I saw.
What's that?
Oh, at Circle 6.
Yes.
Yeah. I was telling Vince about this. I was like, I've seen one of these before. This is not fun. I believe he fought Remington Roar at Circle 6 in a Terracotta death match, and that shit was nuts.
We were there before we even knew each other. That's funny.
If you're watching us and you're not familiar with a terracotta pot, it's one of them little fucking tan pots that you buy at Pack Tans, Walmart, anything to put your little pots in at home. They're ceramic and they hurt. They're essentially glass.
And they just shatter and they go into millions of pieces, and then people get dropped on them and they get stuck in people's backs because at one point Eric had a chunk stuck into his back. It did not fall out. It was just in there. These dudes went to war. They were beating the crap out of each other, putting the pots on the person's head and then punching it, and it would shatter in their face.
Yep.
There was a really cool light tube cactus built.
Oh, yeah, this spot. I assumed it would have been a way cooler spot. So, Tony, look, they took a terracotta pot that looked, imagine a wok. You know what I'm saying? A cooking wok that's circle. And they put glass tubes in it, stood them up. There was 6 of them stood up. They painted them green.
Okay.
And then they fucking put thumbtacks on the outside. It looked like a makeshift cactus.
That's genius.
Okay, they had it sitting in the corner, and I think the downfall of it was the pot or whatever didn't have a flat bottom. It was round.
Oh,
So they set it and like leaned it in the corner, and then eventually at one point it fell over by itself, and one of the
damn.
lights busted. It still did end up getting used though, which was still cool.
But maybe next time. There's some adjustments need to be made, but
Yeah. But I mean, not even the match, so to speak. The biggest story behind this was a pick your poison match where RSP got to pick Atticus's opponent. And Atticus got to pick RSP's opponent later on in the night. RSP thought he was pulling a fast one on Atticus. And Atticus thought, RSP was trying to pull a fast one by pitting him in this match against his fellow 440 Yellow teammate. Like that's 440 Yellow. Eric Ryan and Atticus are on the same squad. So the real story was after the match, the hug. The Atticus was telling him before the match, like, yo, we don't have to do this. Like, we don't have to do this. And, Eric took the job literally and was like, unfortunately, we do. This is the card. We got to do it.
Yeah, like we got to fight.
So they fought. And, Atticus won, right?
No. Eric won.
Okay, Eric won. That's right. Eric won. Eric was able to pick up the victory. After the match is over, they stand up. You get the 440 hug, you get the embrace, you get the crowd salute, and they walk out together.
Yep.
So that was, everybody was excited about that. That was cool. Great match. Just, putting a terracotta pot on somebody's forehead right here and fucking smashing it like that.
Yeah.
That's something else. That's something different. But then we went right into the main event. And this was pretty wild because this wasn't also we saw multiple people that started on Friday and we saw them across the weekend, multiple times over. And this is
incredible.
One of two times that Ricky Shane Page main evented at a show this weekend.
Yes, 100%. So I already love Ricky. Like, I already had massive amounts of respect for Ricky. But after seeing Ricky this weekend, Ricky's a fucking machine.
Yeah, like literal machine. So we're just going to go right into it because this was a wild match. This was Ricky Shane Page versus Cruel. And if you're not familiar with them, look him up. It's at Atrocity Cruel on Instagram. The dude is the scariest person I've ever seen come out of the back room, man. The just holy crap, the eyes, the mask, the
Tony,
presence.
I'm telling you. So Tony, he's got a fucking mask on where he looks like Reptile from Mortal Kombat, but like the newer versions of Reptile where he's not a ninja anymore in green, where he's legitimately just like a reptile. Like, so this dude Cruel's mask comes down, it's green, it covers it covers right here, but he's got eye holes and there's no mouth hole, but he's got like these fucking teeth. Like, it's got like a sucker thing, like a fucking
weird
fish, but it's got teeth on it. He looks scary as shit. Mind you, he's 7 foot tall, 300 fucking pounds. It's not like he's the little guy wearing this fucking mask trying to be scary. He's fucking a giant and he's scary.
He comes out, and it's also crazy because like when he comes out, I'm big on like the way people present themselves, and he comes out when his music hits and it's real slow and like menacing, and he comes out and there's like a bong, like a little slow thing, and he comes out and he just sits there and breathes for a second, and then all of a sudden his music picks up, and when the music picks up, he starts moving. Like, he is a fast, tall, big guy. And when he starts moving, he comes through by the crowd, and he just like it's like Jaws. Watching Jaws if it had legs, man. Like
circle and spray. Cruel, Krule.
He's awesome, dude. So, anyways, Ricky Shane Page had to go up against him, and this was just what we expected from this match. There was a lot of
Vince had skipped all the so far.
So because I wanted to leave it up to you, but I just wanted to say what I wanted to say is it was a great match. and then there was some twists, and we're gonna give it to Mike.
Okay, so they fucking before the main event, we see all the the security and the helpers. Tony, you know better from being Mega. We have these
Right,
guys like the Yoders who help us clean up and do all this shit after a hardcore match.
Yes.
We had all these guys come out and they start building something in the corner.
Yeah.
All right, now imagine you're looking at the Mega Ring, Tony, like we're walking out at the college. We're walking out of the entryway. Top left corner. Okay? They start fucking building something. And it's got wood. It's wrapped around the ring post. It
was made out of a Bowflex.
It's like this, dude. It's like a T. And this part is hanging into the ring. And then they bring out this other like half circle piece of wood that has 5 light tubes somehow attached to it in like a mohawk form.
Right. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
So then this thing that's hanging in the ring, we notice that it has another little piece right here on a hinge. So they bring out the drill and they're drilling holes to connect these pieces of wood to this freaking light tube mohawk.
It was crazy.
3 seconds into the match, they get it up and it's up in the air. Like it was just like I sent it to Brandon and he was like, "Nope."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
nope.
basically,
do that.
Ricky gets put into the turnbuckle and this thing just comes onto him.
Yeah.
Dude, and I'm talking, Tony, it was like smash, 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 all on Ricky's face. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It happened so fast.
Mousetrap.
It was the first spot of the match. Like it happened so fast. I didn't get a video of it. I was so fucking salty.
No
Like
one
me and
got a
Vince,
video of it.
like me and Vince were
That's
so
not-
fucking like it just happened so fast. Amanda said it's very sketch, makeshift, scary mess. Drilled, light tubes, duct tape. Yeah, like it was a lot. And it, like I said, like right on his head immediately. 3 seconds into the bell ring, and Ricky's fucking bleeding already.
Yeah.
Then a big bundle of light tubes came out where they had 4 or 5 of them strapped together. They hit him with that.
Well,
Ricky grabbed.
so I think we're
ahead.
getting ahead of ourselves a little bit.
I might be. I don't remember a sequence of events. It was fucking crazy.
Because it was. So at some point in the match, Cruel is just murderizing. And I mean just killing Ricky Shane Page. And then the locker room clears and 440 blue and yellow are in the ring together. And they're
What?
working together. They are
Tony,
a
at one
unit.
point, it was Cruel standing here and blue and yellow standing across from him. And I was like, whoa.
Well, is that like what, 10 people or so? That's a lot
So
of
it
people.
wasn't
I
all.
mean,
It was about 8
yeah,
of
it
them.
was.
It was
I was gonna
okay.
say,
Okay.
You weren't missing them all. Greg wasn't there. Bobby Bev wasn't
That's
there.
okay. That makes sense.
Al, Atticus, Otis, Christian, Ricky,
So you're
Vince
still
and Nothing. Like they were out. Zach, they were out there.
And it was
I
pretty
did, Tim.
awesome.
I did.
There was a spot where we had Cruel on the ground and everyone circled around him, picked him up, and dropped him on his ass.
Dude, like
big
they all
HBK
grabbed him.
spot.
Yep. Everybody grabbed him from a big circle, dude. He went up 10 feet in the air.
But then he also ended up chokeslamming every single person, including both Zach and Al at the same time.
He said, well, it was Zach and Al, and then Christian and Otis.
Yep.
And then somebody else. And then this is where, in my opinion, after all this blood and everything, Tony, after all this craziness that's happened, doors and all this shit, this was the shock of the night for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Eric Ryan comes out.
That's right. I did see this.
Eric Ryan comes out. He throws a bundle of light tubes to Atticus like they're going to use them to beat up Ricky. And then Eric Ryan drop kicks this light tube bundle right in Atticus' chest, unzips his hoodie, and Eric Ryan has joined 440 Blue. He has defected from Team Yellow. Again, if you've been following this story, they kidnapped Eric Ryan. He was kidnapped. Blue kidnapped him 2 months ago, and nobody knew where he was. Nobody knew anything.
They gave him a
Eric Ryan's
lot.
been brainwashed here. But regardless,
Or
Blue
just
is now
converted.
5 strong. Blue is now 5 strong.
Yeah, that was great. Great. Just
I mean,
storytelling. Just
Cruel won the
amazing.
match. Cruel won the match.
Cruel won the match, yeah.
But again, the big story out of this was Eric Ryan unzipping the hoodie and joining Blue.
Yeah.
That was huge, yeah. Shout out Cruel though. Killer dude. Great dude to
Yeah,
talk to.
we got to meet him and shake hands with him. He actually wasn't super scary afterwards, but definitely menacing in the ring. Definitely a big presence. He did bleed on Vince.
Cool.
But yeah.
I may or may not like him.
Vince, what are you scoring Simply the Best?
So okay, I was like kind of back and forth on this number just because it was a good show. It was our first time going. There was good matches, there was bad matches. I was let down a little bit, but that's not Clash's fault. So I'm gonna stick with 3.5 out of 5 pile drivers. I just, maybe if I've seen it more, or maybe if I pick up on like some of the storytelling, I'd be able to like give it a little bit of a better rating. But besides that, it was a great show, and shout out everyone that put it on.
Agreed. I enjoyed Clash. I had fun. Again, my least favorite thing was the crowd. The crowd was doo-doo butter. I also didn't like that the announcer kept getting into the ring, and he was like, "Go check out the concession stand. We got hot dogs, chips, and more." They literally had nothing more. It was literally just hot dogs.
Hot dogs, chips, and the weirdest beverage.
And West. Okay, so again, Tony, we're from up here. I don't know. I know you live in Sandusky. So what? Do they have Kroger in Sandusky? By the way, I want to ask you. Okay,
they do.
So Kroger, I assume, has a different brand than like Walmart. But if you go to Walmart and you get fucking jank ass Dr. Pepper, it's called Dr. Thunder, and it's from Sam's Club or something like that. Sam's Choice soda.
Yeah.
Amanda got a Sprite, and it was Wesley Farms lemon lime, and it was fucking weird tasting. Like, it was weird, dude. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with a 3. The matches were great. The crowd not being as into it, I think, kind of, it threw it off because again, me and Vince sitting here and tell you the matches was fucking great. How are you not into this? Like, you're just sitting there. You pay to come to a show to just sit there. The lady behind us was talking about Sam's Club for, I don't know, a good 40 minutes. And then had the nerve to say something. I guess she moved seats towards the end because me and Vince were standing up and she couldn't see. We were talking about Sam's Club 20 minutes ago.
There was also the craziest fan, the guy that called me a pussy, or called Greg Irons a pussy. He was like at the end at Cruel, just Contra, and like throwing up the Dark Order hand. And I'm like, what does this mean? Like, what are you talking about?
Weird.
Contra, that's a terrible NES game, but I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. So, 3 from me, 3.5 from Vince.
It's like a 3.25 altogether.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Saturday.
Oh God, I'm so excited for this, man. I'm
so excited for this, and we don't look. So we can't. Look, we spent 35 minutes, or 39 minutes talking about the other show. We can't spend 39 minutes.
We got this.
We'll go through the matches real quick with the winners, but I'm gonna tell you, this is one of the best shows I've seen in a long time.
Can we do this real quick? Shout out Phil.
Shout out. That's exactly where I was going. Shout out to Uncle Phil Stamper. Appreciate the hell out of you for the invite, dog. So he invited us down, told us the show was going to be great.
Oh, he did this point.
We grab our tickets, we get down there. Okay, we walk in. Phil meets us at the door. We already had our tickets. We had tickets. It's not like we didn't get tickets. We bought tickets, and we get to the door. Phil's standing there. I texted him and let him know that we were there. He's standing there waiting for us by the table. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, what's up? Looks over at the table, guys. He's like, there with me. Okay, that's cool. So he knew we had tickets. Like, it's not like we snuck in or something like that.
Right. But
he knew we had tickets, and the fact that we didn't have to pull them out or show them or anything like that was hella cool.
Good to go. Yeah.
He literally showed us everything. Like, he was super cool with it, super chill, super great. I really liked the venue. It was cool. The Calumet Center, Calumet. I don't know how they say it down there. but it was essentially like the college. Essentially
Okay.
the same kind of gymnasium type deal, a
Full
little
house.
bit smaller. Yeah, but it was full house. We did get to meet up with a couple of guys. There's a podcast they got down there called the Dad World Order, and we got to meet up with them. We actually met them, and it was cool. We talked about them before, and they were cool. We got to meet AJ Francis, also known as Top Dollar.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Vince grabbed a little sig from him on a figure. He was cool.
He's cool.
He was cool. Like I won't.
That's it. He's cool. That's
yeah,
it.
he was
That's
cool.
say.
Nothing spectacular. Like it nothing. I didn't get like a oh my god moment from him. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
but he didn't blow you off either or anything. He didn't like.
all right,
you
you guys keep talking, Vince. Go into the matches. I gotta grab my thing. It's right there though, but I gotta grab it.
Oh yeah, you're good. So yeah, actually, since we're talking about him, Top Dollar, AJ Francis as he is right now. He was in the first match. He went up against Jake Christ. Pretty good match. Jake is the hometown boy. So he had a lot of fans. A lot of people were on his side. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. AJ ended up taking the win. But then some guy came in and like interfered.
I got his name. I got his name. I got everything. I've followed the man on socials. I've added to his 1.27 million YouTube subscribers. They are the Vibe guys. They do wrestling. I haven't really, like I said, I just followed him a couple days ago, so I haven't really like looked into his stuff. His name's Brandon BDE. He is. You can look him up. I mean, the dude's got hundreds of thousands of followers across all kinds of social media platforms. But apparently, he was looking into the business and he talks about wrestling a lot and he's down there. So AJ Francis called his ass out.
Yeah.
He gets in the ring.
He got in the ring. He looked pretty good.
A little face-to-face action back and forth. That little shoving back and forth. And then at one point, AJ picked him up like he was about to body slam him. And this BDE dude turned this into an RKO out of nowhere, Tony.
Nice.
I'm talking he twisted his body crazy and caught AJ and put him down.
It was good. It was good.
It was good. It was good.
Nice.
And then we went right into Damian Chambers and Jonathan Gresham. That was a solid match. Match.
Great wrestling match. Jonathan Gresham is way shorter than I thought he was. Like I knew he was short. Like but
he's like
when he walked out, Tony,
5'4"
you couldn't see him over the fans. Like,
the
fans stood up because the ramp wasn't like up or nothing. It was just ground level, like with the fans. So when he came out, his music hit, we all stood up. And then apparently he stood up or came out, but I didn't see him until he got to the ring. That guy was small. But he's like built like a brick shit house.
Right.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good.
Well, he does the mask. What is it? The octopus mask. That's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he called himself the octopus, Jonathan Gresham.
Well, when I first saw him, he didn't do the mask at all. But I like that he wrestles in the mask now. I think it makes more sense. Like it works.
Oh no, he didn't wrestle in the mask. He takes it off.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he takes it off. It's got like some crazy heavy things on it. He might have before, but at Wrestling Revolver, he did not.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a great match. I believe that we had Damian Chambers fan section literally right next to us because they were like, "That's all I'm here for is him." So that was cool. But he came out with Johnny Bravo. He came out with Johnny Bravo and some girl. I'm not sure who it was. We never got her name. If they did say her name, it was, crowd noise was too loud for me to hear. But I knew who Johnny Bravo was by looks. So Tim said he wears it in TNA. So maybe he does wear it when he wrestles in TNA.
Right. I thought I had seen him wear it during a match before. But yeah, he comes out with it on usually.
Yeah.
So
this was a good match.
Gresham got the win, but I just want to say, like, Damian Chambers hit that front flip reverse DDT. That was, like, absolutely insane.
Dude, it was crazy.
I was like, I don't know where it came from. Again, there was another 6-way match. Myron Reed, Facade.
This was a golden ticket match, Tony. This is essentially a Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank, okay.
But you don't have to climb a ladder. The winner of the match gets a shot at any title in Wrestling Revolver at any time they want it.
Yep. So we saw, who did I say so far? Myron Reed.
The young goat Myron Reed and the Neon Ninja Facade.
Then we had Alan Angels.
He's 5 from the Dark Order.
We had Jay Bang of Bang Matthews. We had Crash Jackson again.
Whole lot of dude.
Whole lot of dude, and he's great. And then we had our boy Vincent Nothing, and then I saved this one for last because this was the one of 2 times we saw him this weekend. But the MILF Hunter, JJ Garrett.
Yeah. This
So he
dude
was
was
good.
fucking great.
He was
That
good.
was the dude that was in the camo yesterday, Tony, at RCW.
Oh, that's
And
true.
that's
Okay,
what
okay.
sucked
I
because
missed
you
that
you
guy's
didn't get
name
to
last.
see him in his full
Yeah,
Steiner gimmick because he looked
Yeah.
so good. Like he
he
the
was good.
mullet and the
I liked him.
singlet. But
Yeah,
See it.
and PWR dude, he came out and when he took off, he was the MILF Hunter, but he came out and he took the camo off and he had like a singlet on, and with the mullet and everything, he very much looked like a young Scott Steiner.
yeah,
That's
it was
hilarious.
awesome. It was good. He killed it. So this match again, like I said earlier, it's hard to like keep up with the 6-mans and 7-mans and all this stuff. But this one I saved 2 things for. Vincent Nothing put Facade's girl, the girl that he comes out with and has a tag team with, he put her through a door, dude.
Danny Moe is her name. There was
Right
a
in
door,
front
and they
of
set
us.
up a door right in front of us from the
Right in
ring
front
to
of
the
us.
barricade, and Vincent Nothing just dropped her ass. Like,
Oh,
see you.
I thought she was dead. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That's a big dude and a little girl, and I was just like, what?
and a
It was
door.
kind of
And a
like a
door.
Michinoku
It's a table.
driver,
Okay.
Falcon Arrow esque. You know what I'm saying? Like they both went down, but she got the brunt of it. She went head first. Vince,
Right.
took an ass bump. So
Yeah.
like,
She took the bump of the bump, but
yeah,
it was a crazy match. There was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, these guys just really just duked it out for this ticket. But Myron Reed was the one that ended up winning, and it was cool because I'm a big Myron Reed fan. I think he's great.
Young
Yep. So yeah, I mean, I just want to, I don't want to take up too much time on this, so we'll kind of keep moving along. The next one was Masha Slamovich versus Matthew Palmer. Great match. Just
So
I'm
not
I don't
familiar with Matthew Palmer.
I'm
I've heard of him, but from the reaction that he got from the crowd and etc., he's got to be like a PWR mainstay. He's got to be, even as a bad guy, he was loved. People were,
yeah, the girl behind us, the only fan was yelling for him.
yeah. So
That
I
was
mean,
funny.
this was a pretty solid match too.
It was. I'm a big Masha fan. I love Masha. I think she's great. She comes out, her music hits. She just has this aura about her. Uh, a lot of counters. I noticed that in the very beginning of the match. Like they've definitely wrestled with each other a bunch. I've seen them wrestle before too, so they're very well in tune with each other. You saw a lot of different counters from both Matthew and Masha. Um, there was that like weird who distract that girl? Did you get that
Some
name?
girl came up. Yeah, no, I never got the name.
Okay,
I never got the name
so
from Uncle
Matthew
Phil.
Palmer ends up getting distracted by this girl, and Masha snuck in like a roll up, which was great. I was like, oh, this is great storytelling. But I remember from before seeing Palmer, he goes wild. Like if he loses, he just like gets so
Oh,
mad.
right.
So he actually snatched the girl that distracted him up, and then delivered one of the hardest pile drivers I've ever seen.
Oh.
Driver.
So we didn't just see one girl get beat up by a guy. We saw 2 girls get beat up by a guy, and brutal. It was bad, man.
Yeah.
Girl and
You mean
guy violence is
amazing?
not cool. Bad guys. Anyways,
Yeah.
so then we got into like I would almost say this was like a co-main event because this was good, man. These are 2 big names. This was Elias and Steve Macklin.
Oh yeah.
Let me just say, Elijah, whatever you want to call him now, because it is now Elijah. He's good. He's very good. Very just yep. We as the pile driver walk with Elijah.
Goddamn right we do.
This was great. I mean, let me just say, he did the walk on the ropes, walk with Elijah. That was cool.
He walked from corner to corner too. That was kind of sweet.
Oh, nice.
No, yeah, that was really good. The match went out of the ring. We went all around, like halfway around the area. They walked back in the ring. We saw a great guitar shot. I mean, it echoed. But yeah,
The
I
big
was
story
really.
out of this match, Tony. The big story out of this match is
Oh yeah,
so we come from Matthew Palmer, who just pile drive this girl, to this match where Elijah pile drives Steve Macklin and then turns around and gives him a tombstone pile driver.
Nice.
So we got a total of three pile drivers
Nice.
at Pro Wrestling Revolver over the
the
weekend.
tombstone pile driver was just mwah, like just chef's kiss.
Yeah, it was really good. So was the regular pile driver though too. Like he got him up, held him there for a minute, and it was like bang.
Drops, yeah. But
Nice.
yeah, so I do believe that Elias ended up winning that.
Yes,
Or
Elijah won.
Elijah, and then
It's hard. I do it too.
it was great. It was great. I was pretty happy with that match. Then we had that 3-way tag match. Lycos Gym, the Rascals, and Dub Club.
Not familiar with the Dub Club. They did pretty good.
They did okay.
Second time for seeing Lycos Gym. And again, nothing. This is no stink towards PME, but Lycos Gym looked way better in this. Like I don't know if they killed it in this match. Everybody,
yeah.
this
They
match.
so from the night before to the next night, definitely seemed like Lycos like maybe shook off that airplane juice or whatever they
a
had
little
going
jet
on.
lag they
Yeah, a
had.
little jet
Yeah.
lag.
Right.
But it wasn't enough. So the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, they just rip, and they show you why. Like
So,
Zachary's.
this match. Go ahead.
Yep. No, I was gonna say that the Rascals showed why. Like Zachary is a former TNA World Champion. Like these guys are good. Like really really good, and I'm really excited to see Trey at the upcoming Mega Show.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
So, Tony, this match was for I don't know if it's GLEAT, like GLEAT or GLEAT. I don't know how they say it. The
Gotcha.
Rascals are the GLEAT champions. I don't know how you pronounce that promotion. So it's either GLEAT or GLEAT, but they are their tag team champions.
Gotcha.
Those belts were on the line, as well as the PWR tag team golden ticket.
Oh, okay.
So now the Rascals retained their GLEAT titles and are the holders of the PWR golden ticket, so they can cash in on the champions who are RED, Red, Rich is Equal Death. They are the tag team champions.
Yep. And that was great match by everyone though. All three teams just absolutely killed it. But they retained. Rascals retained, and It was good. It was a great match. Really happy to see that. And then we saw Cruel for the second time in the weekend against Madman Fulton.
Battle of the monsters they called it.
And that's all it was, man. These dudes are huge.
Yeah, I bet.
In the ring together, just absolutely monsters. Let's see.
This was a good big man match, though.
It was. I mean, we saw Hangman DDT from Fulton to Cruel on the outside of the ring.
Yeah, like he hung him on the second rope, Tony. But DD did the Randy Orton thing outside.
Oh.
Cruel slam Fulton through the barricade bridge.
Like he set up a barricade bridge between the ring and the other barricade and slammed him through that.
And then it bent, right? But it didn't go all the way through.
Oh yeah, it just bent. It didn't break.
So Cruel ends up jumping on him and puts him all the rest of the way through it. So
and they broke it?
Yeah, they broke it.
It broke it. Oh yeah, it broke it.
Or at least bent to
enough that it's not
like this. It's it's more than 90.
So the end of the match was kind of weird. Phil, I love you, buddy, but you got to talk to your cameraman. He was in our way the entire match, and
they switched cameramen. I swear to God, they switched cameramen halfway through.
They switched spots because the girl that was over by us moved to the other spot after the intermission, and the guy was in front of us. But so just bad cameraman etiquette, and this is coming from a roaming camera guy. Just stick to the sides, stick to the pole post,
stick by
man.
the posts. You have people who paid to watch the show that you are literally blocking everything I can see.
Right.
So we actually at least I missed the end of this match because of the camera guy. So I don't even have anything in my note besides the fact that Cruel ended up winning. And then there was like some stuff going on at the very end where Cruel ended up smashing a chair over Madman
Concerto.
Fulton's
He gave
head.
him a
Yep.
concerto.
Oh, okay.
One man concerto right in the middle of the ring. And dragged him out by his dreads.
All the way to the locker.
Like literally, Tony, I'm talking dragged him to the apron, grabbed the dreads, dragged him to the dropped to the floor, and then dragged him back up the entranceway by his dreads.
Damn.
Like he had just murdered this man.
Yeah, no, it was pretty wild. And then the main event, I mean, I just, oh my god, I gotta hold on, I gotta like, oh, so the main event, this was just absolutely mind-boggling because like I was not expecting what I saw.
This main event was not advertised, so stuff happens in wrestling. Cards subject to change.
Card is subject to change.
And the main event, I'm looking back at it now. It doesn't say anything like
I
this.
checked. I had to look for myself because I thought maybe we missed something. I think somebody couldn't make it or somebody, but this ended up seeing RED, riches equal death, right? Is that the way they call it?
That's right, which is the team of Alex Colon, Steve Macklin, The Dark Pledge, and Ricky Shane Page.
So
but this like he said, it was was it 3-way day? It was six man, right?
It was a 6-man tag, yep. And
so it was Dark Pledge, RSP, and Cologne
versus Casey Jacobs of Alpha Sigma Sigma, and I did not get the other two names.
Akira and Judge Joe Dredd.
Judge Joe Dredd. That's right. I forgot about that. I just have them down as Capital Punishment, as that's their name.
Capital Punishment is the team name of Akira and Judge Joe Dredd. Tony, a little backstory. Dark Pledge used to be an Alpha Sigma Sigma.
Okay.
He pledged to Red. So now his team, what's his name? Casey
Jacobs was
Casey Jacobs is the other member. Yeah, well, I believe there's 3 members of Alpha Sigma Sigma as well, but now there's only 2 because one has joined Red.
So their captain or whatever, he wasn't around, so he ended up just getting Akira and Judge Joe Dredd to come out. This
match was called, it was dubbed the Beer Garden Death Match.
Yeah, and
to set up Tony, they brought out kegs. They brought out 6 packs of bottled beer. They brought out a 30 rack of Natty Light that had thumbtacks attached to the sides, like it was a case of beer, but thumbtacks on side. Yeah.
There was another one with half cans on it.
There was like a door, like a door with cut cans on it. There was a table that had Solo cups attached to it, wrapped in barbed wire all around the table, and on the end of each of the Solo cups was like 3 or 4 thumbtacks super glued to it. This match was fucking insane.
It was like a nightmare.
Dude, I don't know how much blood was spilled during this match. The floor was fucking red.
Just literally red.
Again, there's so much to go over in this spot. You can go watch it. It's on Triller TV, dude. I've already thought about grabbing a Triller subscription just so I can rewatch this show. Maybe see if you see your boys.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no way you can't because they came where we were at. They literally took it so far out of the ring that there was just a bloody mess in front of us. And then Ricky ended up swantoning out of nowhere into the group of the people dying on our feet.
Alex Colon dives at Dredd, knocks Dredd over the apron, or jumps out. Him and Dredd are fighting, and they end up falling over right in front of us. Akira then climbs up on this farthest turnbuckle from us, jumps and flies and lands on everybody. So we got there's 3 or 4 dudes right here battling right now. Bloody as all hell on the ground. They've knocked over all of our chairs. There's blood on the ground. And then we hear, we turn and look to the left, and Ricky's fucking climbing to the top rope where he fucking swanton bombs off and lands on everybody.
And like when we say everybody, like everybody, like it was just
like fans,
like
whatever.
What?
It was fucking insane. Red picks up the victory. I don't like. There was a ladder spot. I'm just trying to remember it. Like there was so much,
Right.
dude. It was just
Alex Cologne had one of the half cans of beer stuck in his back. Like, can we just
Oh,
like he got slammed on the table, Tony, and it came off, and it was still stuck in his back.
how much force does it take for a beer can that's been cut in half to be put into a man's back? I've never seen something that brutal. And it's
like
wild.
I mean, Tony, it was very Circle Six esque.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
So I
should come. I need to come to. Me and Jen need to come to one of those shows next.
100%. We're definitely going back.
I believe the next time they said was in January.
It is January.
They're coming to Dayton because they do Wrestling Revolver travels. Wrestling Revolver travels all over the place. They're in Iowa. They're in Indiana. Sometimes I know they do shows in Texas and California. So like they're not just Ohio based. They do a lot of shows and run a lot of shows out of Ohio. But yeah, they do travel. But they said the next time they'll be back, I believe, is in January. So if we don't have anything booked, we're headed.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and just shoot my shot here. PW Revolver, Bad Trip gets a 5 out of 5 pile drivers for me.
Oh shit.
I as well am giving it a 5. I said that after the show, and I let it sit for a whole fucking 2 days, man. And it's still like it was still a great show. It was phenomenal. And this has this is before even, this is not including the meet and greet with Top Dollar. This is not including us talking to fucking Zach Wentz for 10 minutes. This is not including us talking to fucking Elijah for 10 minutes. Yep. Like, I'm not even putting those in my rating. As a pure wrestling show, it was fucking great.
It was good. It was really good. And just, shout out Phil. Thank you so much. Shout out Sammy. Thanks for putting that on. Shout out Top Dollar.
Oh, Elijah, and I fully expect, and I know Tammy probably won't see this, but if Phil sees it, Phil will tell Tammy. I fully expect a picture of the one and only Death Machine Sammy Callahan in his Pile Driver Podcast t-shirt, because I did gift him a Pile Driver Podcast t-shirt.
Don't set that bar so low. We want a pile driver while wearing a pile driver.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
That would be crazy. But yeah, so the PWR was 5 out of 5. Top notch show. The next show I can very well talk about. I can't talk about all matches. Tony will have to take the lead on this one.
I got the last 2.
Well, and I missed the first 3 matches putting notes down. I was I know. Well, what were you in the second match, Mike?
I was in the first match. I was not in the second match. I was in the first and third match. I got to referee. The first match was our Midwest Scramble to determine what team would be fighting later on in the Scramble for the new Midwest Championship. And on one team you had Rex. I don't remember their names. They're from Ground Zero.
Yes, I don't have all their names. I have the other team, but I don't have.
Tasty Cakes. That's not his name, Mr. Tasty, but they were calling him the Egg Boy.
Yeah.
You had Rex. You had the bully Mike Michaels.
Okay.
Who else was on that team?
I should have took a picture of the card. I thought about it too, and I was like, damn it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on those guys from Ground Zero's names. I'd have to look them up. I believe CJ Settles, something like that. But on the other side,
before they're good.
Yeah, they're good. I'm not saying anything like they're good. I'm sorry that I forget your name. I didn't write it down. On the other half, you had Christian, Pastor CeeLo, Zach, Bryson Teller, the MILF Hunter,
JJ
Garrett. Yep.
It was a 5 on 5 or 6 on 6.
6 on 6.
It was 5 on 5. It was 5 on 5.
5 on 5. Okay.
Because we did have a 6-man scramble, but there was the match number 2 was Eric Ryan versus Alex Daniels. The winner got that last spot. So that's why. So it was 5 on 5. Again, this match, it was crazy, and Vince said, it's hard to keep track of all the action in these types of matches, especially when you're the referee.
Oh, I bet.
So I was able to keep somewhat of a control, at one point I thought we were going to have separation on the one team because the booker over at RCW was smart enough to put Zach Thomas and Christian Napier on the same team.
That made some interesting tag team work they had to deal with.
Agreed. So that was, and trying to keep them separate. It was fun. But overall, it was a good match, and that team did end up winning with Pastor CeeLo.
Right. Yep.
It was a good match, so
Cool.
I didn't get to see match 2.
Match 2.
Eric Bryan versus Alex Daniels.
Yeah, that was really, really well done. It was a little bit shorter than I thought it was going to be, but knowing how, subject to change and everything, Alex Daniels going in with the massacre match later on, I understand how probably they had to move some stuff around.
Yeah. Alex Daniels was able to pick up the victory and move on to that Midwest Scramble later on in the match.
Okay. Yeah, that was awesome to see him win.
Match 3, we got a tag team match. Okay, so last time that RCW came, a referee ended up getting involved. So we had a tag team match where it was supposed to be the Deo brothers, Ronnie Deo, who we're familiar with. We've seen him at Mega a couple times.
Yep.
And his brother were supposed to be out there against Big Al and Vincent Nothing, 440 Blue. This is, again, a match I got to referee. So they come out. My fellow referee, Josh, comes out, and he's got something he pulls out. He says he's got something. He's got something cooking for Deo. And he pulls out. I'm like, what the hell are you doing out here, Josh? He pulls out this card out of his back pocket. And he shows it to me. Josh has his manager's license. So it's seemingly Josh is going to be converting, and he's trying to manage some superstars these days. And he has found the perfect partner for Ronnie Deo. He brings out former RCW referee. What? There's 3 of us out here now. Come to find out, this kid, he's Ronnie's partner, and he's going to step in here with Vincent Nothing and Big Al.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job.
I thought he did a pretty solid job besides getting the shit beat out of him. He was jacked. At one point, he ripped off his referee shirt, Vince, and he had like a tank top.
Another muscles. Yeah.
It was like, it was funny. I mean, that didn't work out so well. Vincent Nothing power bomb into the flip back, Big Al knee to the face. 1, 2, 3.
Oh man.
So unfortunately, they weren't able to pick up a victory, but it was. I mean, they did okay. And then next we had a segment that popped off with Madam President Sebastian LaShawn being interviewed in the ring by Norm.
Okay.
Sebastian essentially just wants to buy everybody new shoes. Everybody deserves
to get those votes.
Wow.
The girls in the front row, that were over by Sebastian are definitely voting for Madam President after because they were cheering. Yeah. They wanted new shoes.
They popped the biggest for Sebastian for sure.
Yeah. She at one point made a mention of Turbo Lover, the RCW champion, to which he then decided to take it upon himself to go out to the ring.
Oh.
Chris Cole ends up getting in the ring, and Turbo Lover sucker punches him.
It was a headbutt.
Oh, headbutt. That's right.
Headbutt.
And then at this point, RSP gets in the ring to try to, calm shit down. He calls for us to come out. We all come running out, trying to subdue Turbo Lover and keep him back. He just assaulted a legend.
Right.
So, Ricky's pissed.
Anybody else doesn't matter.
You don't touch Cole. And, he touched Cole. So we have to wait to see what repercussions,
right,
lie on the Turbo Lover here.
I hope he gets fired.
We had
the strip.
We had us an intermission after that. And then we came back to a championship match that we had talked about earlier a little bit. Judge Joe Dredd taking on the Turbo Lover again. To what ended up being a double count out. Again, I didn't get to see this match. I was in the back, and I know that they, hit the walkie like, get your asses out here. We can't separate these two. I come running out the back, dreads leaking blood. Turbo Lover's trying to hit him over the head still. And, these men are just going at it. So eventually, after a couple minutes, we get them separated and we get them to the back. Match into the double count
from the outside, and they throwing each other across the chairs and everything into the crowd and all that. Like you said,
it got a little reckless. Fast. It got a little reckless. And then this is where Vince showed up.
Last two matches.
But
hey, I'm glad because I got to see some of my best friends in there, and that was awesome, man.
And I mean, the last match was the second to last match was the Midwest Scramble to crown the new RCW Midwest champion.
Yep. Great match. I mean, everyone got a spot in at least one.
Yeah, it was a good match. Pastor CeeLo, Christian Napier, Zach Thomas, Alex Daniels, Bryson Teller.
I was pulling for CeeLo. He was doing really great in the beginning there. I thought he was going to take it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I really actually did peg Pastor CeeLo to take home the win. But
unfortunately, the curse of Avon has been broken by Captain Jerk Alex Daniels. Alex Daniels pulls out the victory. I mean, he did pull some sweet shit though. Alex Daniels does that cool shit. He does that
running up that running up moonsault on the outside. That was great.
The run up the turnbuckle moonsault. Alex Daniels deserved it. Like I said, able to break the Avon curse. He calls it the Avon curse. He hasn't been able to do very well in Avon. So able to come out and pick up a dub here worked out really well.
There was the Lycos Gym versus Alienated Youth tag also.
I did skip that. That was a good match.
The Alienated Youth kids. I really like those guys. Those are nice guys.
Told you. Now you're gonna think about that always. You're gonna remember
every time I think about the Lycos Gym guys, I'm gonna think about that. I like Alienated Youth a lot. I've seen them a couple times. The first time I saw them, I wasn't as impressed, and then I saw them at OCW, and then I saw them again. I forget where we saw them the second time, but then again, I get to see them at RCW last night, and it was great. Like them and the Lycos Gym boys put on a tag team match yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But then so we got
last but most certainly not least.
Oh my god. Wow. Just knowing half of this battle, RJ Jonesy, seeing what he did yesterday, Jonesy buddy, you've got so many flowers coming to you. Like I might even kiss you if I see you on Thursday.
I texted him today to ask him if he was okay.
I talked to him today too. He's got my belt.
What do you have to borrow your belt or something?
Yeah, he borrowed my belt yesterday, so his pants didn't fall down.
Because he had those new pants, and he looked really good. He looked really good. The new gear. But
yeah,
what was it?
He got a hardcore grudge match against Matic, who is from Ground Zero Wrestling. Matic is a fucking tank of a man. And if you're familiar with RJ Jonesy, he is not that big of a boy.
He's just a boy, but he's a man now. Man, I was just like, so I kind of want to just skip ahead to the big spot of the night. Go ahead. Dude, I've never seen a chair contraption built like that. So 4 chairs, 2 and 2 facing each other connected, and then there's a chair on the top in the middle of the ring, pointed where the seats towards the turnbuckle. And Matic picked poor Jonesy up and put him through all of it. And I was just what? Like, that was just the craziest thing. And I saw a lot of crazy stuff over the weekend, but I think because, RJ is just such a great dude, to see him get put through that kind of abuse, that hurt, man. I was like, wow, what the hell am I seeing?
Exactly. They worked their way up to, like, the corner, like the turnbuckle spot, where it looked like Jonesy was going to give him a Frankensteiner.
Yes.
and he caught Jonesy,
caught
brought him up, and like
just
awesome bombed
launched
him.
him.
Not up the top, but like the middle rope, and it was the first time, like, right, you felt it. Like, I wanted to run in there and check on him. Like, I wanted to, like, it
It looked horrible. It was, I mean, it
looked
was a great
horrible.
spot though. Jonesy, the utilization of the tire was great
Yes.
in my opinion.
Yes.
Unable to keep the big man
That was
down.
very well done.
Jonesy goes under the ring and pulls out this just regular car tire, dude. No rim, just a straight
tire.
rubber
Yep,
tire. And wraps Matic, puts it over his head. Matic can't move his arms. And Jonesy just starts beating the shit out of him with a baseball bat. And then at one point, I forget what move he did to take him down, but it might have been a DDT. But he got Matic down on the ground, covers him for the 1, 2, 3 with the tire still wrapped around him.
Yeah.
Matic was unable to get a
Kicked
shoulder up. And Jonesy walks away with this victory. And I mean, again, just such top-notch shit by Jonesy.
Deserved, earned.
Well deserved,
love it.
buddy. We love you. Just awesome job, Jonesy.
All right, Tony, what are you giving RCW as an overall grade?
Let's see. I'm gonna go 3.5.
Okay.
3.5. Very reasonable. It was a good show.
The crowd was a little weak. There wasn't.
There was
real,
Bray Wyatt. We did have the Fiend.
It wasn't a big
I saw
crowd.
him. Oh my god! When I got there, I saw him and I was like, "Oh, I guess Bray Wyatt's here." And I was like, what?
"Oh yeah!"
Like
There was
he
a
walking
dude
out,
dressed up like
in,
the
oh.
Fiend, and it was great.
It was I didn't know costumes were encouraged. A couple people had dressed up, and I had no idea. I saw him walk in. I was like, "Oh,
Joshua,
okay."
Joe, and I had dressed up as a plug, and Norm
his
was
counterpart,
his outlet.
Yes, did not dress up.
Norm said, "No, I'm not dressing up. I will not do that."
With the two matches I saw, I'll go ahead and give it 3. That's good. I'm glad I got to see.
I was able to watch some of it, so I mean I'll give it a 3.5 as well. I was able to watch the Lycos Gym and Alienated Youth. I was able to watch the Midwest Scramble at the end, and I was able to watch the hardcore match as well as the matches I refereed. So the matches I worked plus the matches I was able to get to watch, I'm going to stick with a 3.5. It was a good show.
Nice for like a 3.33 average. That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
okay.
Nice for RCW to bring back, to Reagan Hall. But yeah, overall, now here, Vince, this is, and Tony, I'm sorry that you can't be a part of this rating. Next time you will be. Vince, what's your overall rating for the weekend, my guy?
Oh man, all right, dude. Yeah, like
including road trip, Cousin Vinny's Pizza.
2 road trips. 2 road trips. We went to Michigan. Dude, actually, so me and you spent 10 hours in the car together. If I put the bets together. And we ate a lot of good food.
On the way home. I'm sorry for I fell asleep in the car on the way home, Tony. I mean,
bro, it was like 2 in the morning.
Vince was talking and I felt myself falling asleep, and I was like.
And it's funny because we didn't even have music there playing or anything. I was just driving and he was just snoozing, and I was just like, yeah, we just chilling out here driving. But
right.
All weekend, man. I mean, if I could give it better than a 5 out of 5, I would. But it was a 5 out of 5. It was a great wrestling weekend.
Yeah, top notch, 100%. I had a phenomenal fucking weekend, dude.
I'm just glad you got to taste the joy that is Cousin Vinny's in Dayton. And if you're hearing this,
all right, so Tony, we went down to Dayton, right? And as soon as Vince is like, that's where as soon as I tell Vince, like, yeah, we're going. It's as soon as the plans are in concrete, Vince is like, perfect reading Cousin Vinny's Pizza. I'm like, what? And he's like, no, you don't understand. He's like, it's this spot I used to go to. They got this hella good deal, and they did have a good deal. We got a fucking medium pizza, medium cheese stick, and 2 drinks. It was like $15.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Plus, I got a cool cup. I should have grabbed it over there. It says Cousin Vinny's on it. It's like spooky. It's like a plastic cup, though. Like, I got to bring it home with me. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, right.
It's like a souvenir.
Yeah, so that was top notch, too.
We ate the leftovers yesterday, me and Liz.
Nice.
So
nice. But yeah, it was good. So yeah, as soon as we got to Vince, like, this is where we're going to eat. So after the show, we went there and got some food. But yeah, and then Clash Wrestling was good. The only thing I didn't like again was the crowd. Pro Wrestling Revolver was phenomenal. RCW was great. I got to go to Lanko's gym, actually put on a seminar tonight at Mega. So I got to
man,
go.
you've had a
I got to go into that, and that was cool. Very knowledgeable guys. Very, very, very well traveled. It was nice. It was nice to learn a couple new things and get some, information from across the pond. Like, because they think about shit different than we do.
right.
So it was really cool. Shout out to Ricky for, putting that together and allowing that to happen. Shout out to Mega Championship Wrestling for hosting it. Shout out to the UK boys for coming over and hanging out with us all weekend.
Hell yeah.
We do have one more thing to get into, and we'll just make it quick. This weekend, you guys are headed out to Salem on Friday night.
Hell yeah.
For the Curse at Quaker Hall. Or the Curse of Quaker Hall, my bad. So we'll go over this card. I know that we have the Beast Man versus Dominic Guarini. You guys make sure your cameras are charged for that one. Dom will probably give us a pile driver.
For sure. I'm going to be very happy to see a pile driver on a Beast Man.
This match, so we were all at the last show at Set the Standard. And we saw Trey Lamar and Hayden Backlund tear the house down. This Friday, Trey Lamar and Hayden Backlund will go at it again in a best 2 out of 3 falls matchup. I'm a little jealous of you guys for that one. So that one will be really good. We have 5-star Thomas Adams, Salem's own, going 1-on-1 against No Shame Jimmy Shane. And you already know Jimmy's coming in pissed off after losing to Tommy Dreamer.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The last time we were at Quaker Hall for the Gold Rush Battle Royal, we saw the debut of Isaiah Pritz. Well, he was kicked out of that Gold Rush Battle Royale by another fellow giant, but now this time they will go 1-on-1 as he faces Samuel Hardway Holloway.
Okay.
Tag team action, you get the debut of the Saloon Slayers.
The Saloon Slayers.
Going in a match against Vincent Nothing and Ricky Shane Page, Faith in Nothing.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Originally, it was going to be Sadie Suicide versus Shauna Reed. Unfortunately, I'd have to find out why it was going to be Sadie Suicide versus Megan Myers.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
that is right. Okay.
Something has happened. The card subject to change. Megan will not be there, but Shauna Reed has been plugged in to go 1-on-1 against Sadie Suicide.
Okay, cool.
And as we knew before, you had Sydney Von England versus Mikey Montgomery 1-on-1, and it was presented by IW Guide. So, breaking news today, coming out of NEOPro, the current IW Guide champion, the Indie Wrestling Guide, Indie Wrestling Guide heavyweight champion Derek Dillinger has relinquished this title due to scheduling conflicts and it feeling like he feeling like that title needs to be defended as much as possible. And because he can't, he relinquishes it. So now this match between Sydney Von England and Mikey Montgomery is for the Indie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, shit.
No shit.
Yes.
It's actually huge. It's kind of fucking big.
Yeah. So that's kind of fucking big. The belt's beautiful, actually, by the way. The graphics been updated. That, actually. The graphics been updated. It looks pretty. The belt kind of looks like a New Japan belt, in my opinion.
Yeah. Very pretty.
And then last but most certainly not least, I can only assume this will be the main event of the Curse of Quaker Hall. We have a 6-man tag team match as the newly crowned NEOPro Tag Team Champions, Cash Inc., team up with the NEOPro Heavyweight Champion, Patrick Hayes, to face the team of Bryson Teller, Eric Fallon, and Ashton Day.
That's that, yeah.
After what we saw at Set the Standard with Ashton and Bryson getting pulled out of the crowd by Patrick Hayes, you can already bet Bryson's pissed off and he can't wait to get his hands on Patrick. We already know that Ashton is not a big fan of Patrick Hayes, and Eric Fallen is just the monster that's been added to the team. But don't sleep on Cash Inc. Unfortunately, you can't
They
sleep
always
on
have
Patrick
some kinda-
Hayes. But
Yeah.
so mega tag team champions, NEOPro tag team champions, Cash Inc. teaming up with Patrick Hayes is, a very formidable trio, I will say. That's the nicest
Their
thing I'll
tag
say
team
about it because Patrick Hayes is
double
there.
champs for a reason.
I love Cash Inc. I love Cash Inc.,
Mhm.
but I don't like who they decided to team up with. So I'm rooting for the Ultra Star in this one, and the team of him and Bryson Teller and Eric Fallen.
Yep,
So
for sure.
next Sunday we will be going over. Well, they will be going over that. I will be enjoying their videos and listening to what the boys have to say, as Tony, Vince, and the big dog will be headed to Quaker Hall for the Curse of Quaker Hall for NEOPro Wrestling. So yeah, the whole Piledriver will be in full effect minus me. But it's okay. I can't make it. It's a far drive and I got to work Fridays. So but yeah, that's all we got for tonight. Vince, do you have flowers to give out besides to Jonesy? Because Jonesy gets everybody's flowers for yesterday.
Jonesy definitely gets everybody's flowers. I gave a little of them already, but I'll say it again. Shout out to Uncle Phil Stanford. Thank you so much for everything you did for us over the weekend. Shout out to Cruel for being the coolest, baddest dude I've seen in a long time. Same with Elias, Zachary Wentz, Top Dollar, all the pros that come out and they, help bring up the guys, the up and comers like Jake Christ and those dudes out there just putting it all on the line, and then really just shout out to every single wrestler that came out this weekend and put on a show for us.
Yeah, 100%. Good shows all weekend. My flowers are going out to RSP. RSP, man, wrecked the weekend, dude. I've seen Ricky wrestle before. I've seen Ricky wrestle, but I don't think I've ever seen Ricky wrestle like that. And it was really, really good. So, flowers going out to Ricky Shane Page.
I'll give mine Jonesy definitely. I'll do the Lycos Gym Boys. Glad to see them out. Glad to have them at Mega. I didn't make it out tonight for their seminar, but anytime we can have knowledge like that and bring them through for the Mega trainees and anybody, you know what I mean? It's useful information to have, and why not pass that around?
Good for business.
Yep.
No, 100%. I also, again, shout out to the Lycos Gym for coming out to America and hanging out with us. It was a good weekend. But that is all we got. We will see everybody next weekend right here on Sunday, normal time, 8:30 p.m., where we will go over NEOPro, talk about the Curse of Quaker Hall, and we will preview Hey Jive Turkey.
Oh, shit.
And then real quick, I know we got a couple weeks. Before November 9th. November 9th, RSW will be back in Parma. And I just want to say earlier when we were talking and Tim was in the chat and he had said, I hope you made that face because of the match I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. So Tim has given us a Piledriver exclusive, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
If you haven't got your tickets for November 9th, RSW returns to Parma for Caught in a Glimpse. The first match that has been announced is one A. And if anybody does these, they've been really, really top notch, Vince, and you know this. RSW with the fire ass 4-way.
Ooh.
Cody Gray versus King Brasa.
Wow.
Versus Paulie Kilpis.
Oh.
Versus Vinny Maverick.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Tim, you better reinforce that ring, buddy.
Jeez. That's a lot of meat in that ring, buddy.
Oh my God.
I gotta make it out to that
Super
show.
Oprah or something, then I was like, all right, well, we're gonna tear the whole
Holy
house
shit. So last time RSW came to town, King Brasa and Vinny put on a clinic. Down in West Virginia, I saw King Brasa and Cody put on a match, or put on a good match. I've seen Paulie with Mount Kilpis do plenty of things in the tag team division. This four-way is going to be phenomenal. Get them tickets to RSW. Get the tickets for Mega Championship Wrestling. I have 3 front row tickets left. 3 front row sold out. I'll give them away to my friends. I already paid for them. Buy them from me so I don't have to give them away to my friends. Come sit front row at Mega. You can't get them anywhere else. I might be the only person with front row tickets left.
Oh
Good
shit!
day,
General admission tickets still available.
Okay.
Get with your boys at the Piledriver podcast. We have tickets in hand. I will hand them directly to you. As like I said, we'll see you next week, 8:30 p.m. Thank you all for commenting, tuning in, hanging out with us. We appreciate you all so much. Until next time.
Later.
See ya.